President Joe Biden's America Rescue Plan. Syed Saud to preside over His Majesty the Sultan's Football Cup. Future of hockey is promising in Oman, says a senior official from the Asian Hockey Federation. These were the top headlines for the day. Let's see how the weather condition looks like in the Sultanate in our weather update.
I'm Antara Bose with your daily dose of weather, and we're outside the TFM studio in Alquer. Now it is a sunny day, so here's a quick fact about our sun. Given the sheer size of the sun, there is only a 10-kilometer difference between the polar and equatorial diameters. This makes our sun the closest thing to a perfect sphere observed in nature. That was our fact for today. Now let's step inside the studio and we'll talk a little bit more about weather. An alert has been issued by Oman Meteorology and Civil Aviation Authority indicating poor visibility during fog formation and also dust rising winds. Apart from that, we've got mainly clear skies over most of the Sultanate with chances of dust rising winds over the deserts and open areas of Al Dakhlia and North Al Sharqiya. There are also chances of late night to early morning low-level clouds or fog patches over the governorates of South Al Sharqiya, Buremi and Al Wusta. With that, let's take a look at what the weather will be like throughout the Sultanate. Muscat will be sunny with temperatures between 23 degrees Celsius and 30 degrees Celsius. Musandam will be sunny with temperatures between 20 and 28 degrees Celsius. North Al-Batana will be sunny with temperatures between 21 and 31 degrees Celsius, and South Al-Batana will also be sunny with temperatures between 23 and 31 degrees Celsius. Al-Buremi will be sunny with temperatures between 15 and 28 degrees Celsius. Al-Dahira will be sunny with temperatures between 16 and 32 degrees Celsius. Al-Dakhlia will be sunny with temperatures between 23 and 36 degrees Celsius. North Al-Sharqiya will be sunny with temperatures between 23 and 36 degrees Celsius, and South Al-Sharqiya will also be sunny with temperatures between 25 and 30 degrees Celsius. Al-Wusta will be sunny with temperatures between 21 and 36 degrees Celsius, and Dhofar will also be sunny with temperatures between 21 and 32 degrees Celsius.
Welcome back to TETV. You're watching Midday Update. Now, before we get into the details of the local stories for the day, let's see how the COVID-19 situation looks like in the Sultanate. In the last 72 hours, the Ministry of Health officials has registered 8 death cases due to coronavirus in Oman. This has taken the total death toll in the Sultanate to 1,591. The Ministry of Health officials has also extended their deepest condolences to the families of the deceased. Moreover, in the last 72 hours, the Ministry of Health officials has also registered 1,059 new cases of coronavirus. The total cases in the country have now touched 143,995, which also includes total recoveries of 134,314, as well as 1,591 death cases. In the last 72 hours, the health officials also registered the recoveries of 823 people in the Sultanate. The ministry has urged everyone to adhere to social distancing instructions issued by the Supreme Committee and the Ministry of Health. And now from a local desk. Fewer incidents of people breaking quarantine are being seen every day thanks to the publication of awareness material asking people to observe isolation rules. To make sure people stay in quarantine, a number of thirst tracking devices have also been installed by Omani company eMushrif, which is responsible for setting up services to track those in isolation, whether domestic or institutional, in many public areas, including malls, banks, fuel stations, hotels, customer service centers, and some government institutions. Now, Haitham Al-Shukaili, who is an official at eMushrif's Public Relations Department, said that the number of confirmed reports we received shortly after the decision to apply institutional quarantine to arrivals in the country was around 20 a day, but that fell to between just 1 and 3 thanks to the publication of awareness material asking people to commit to quarantine rules. He also added that as a representative of the Ministry of Health, in following up and monitoring the extent to which people commit to isolation procedures, we conduct periodic checks and cooperate round the clock with the Royal Oman Police and the Ministry of Social Development through Relief and Shelter Department. Haitham Al-Shukaili explained in detail how the Tarassud, Arabic for surveillance tracking system, installed in buildings work to identify people violating quarantine. Those required to enter isolation are provided a Tarassud bracelet on arrival in the country, which they are required to wear for the entire duration of their quarantine period. He explained that this is an Omani-made device which is professionally perfected and sophisticated that is installed in the entrances of public spaces. When a person wearing a tarassut bracelet approaches these entrances, it detects him up to a range of 30 meters away and accordingly sounds out an alarm. There is also a SIM card in the device which sends the data of the person who has violated quarantine to the company's report center. Al-Shukaili explained that the company verifies this data and once completed, this information is sent to the Royal Oman Police. Now, talking on the same lines, Royal Oman Police in the Sultanate is making efforts to implement the decision of the Supreme Committee through a variety of means, including traffic patrols, serving public places, and monitoring the comportment of individuals to ensure that isolation and social distancing instructions are not breached. Captain Munir Muhammad Al-Sinan, who's the assistant head of TV section at the ROP's Public Relations Department, said that the ROP seeks to establish a cooperative social environment in which members of society collaborate to curb the spread of coronavirus. Captain Al-Sinan pointed out that the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Social Development coordinate with the Royal Oman Police in this respect by easing the tracking of offenders through an advanced electronic system that facilitates access to the offenders. He explained that the ROP has activated the Accident Center to receive violation reports via telephone number, which is 1099 round the clock. The reports are forwarded to ROP formations in different sites to help take expedient action. Meanwhile, Haitham Ash-Shukaili, who I mentioned earlier in my report from Musharraf Company, a specialized artificial intelligence firm, said that his company made and often imported smart bracelets and developed them to suit the goal of ambushing those who breach home isolation and institutional quarantines or violate other decisions of the Supreme Committee in the Sultanate. The Ministry of Commerce, Investment, Promotion and Industry in the Sultanate has confirmed that commercial activities in industrial areas are included in the closure from 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. A ministry official speaking to Times of Oman said the decision of the Supreme Committee includes commercial activities of all kinds, including vehicle washing, motor electrical shops, vehicle oil sales, vehicle brake repair, tire repair, spare part stores, workshops of all kinds, vehicle accessory shops, upholstery shops, branches of vehicle agencies, shops selling building materials, and other shops in industrial areas of all kinds. With regard to factories, the official explained, all factories must be closed between 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. and must close their gates and not receive customers in any way. The ministry confirmed also that the decision includes street vendors and those who own mobile vehicles to sell food and others. The Supreme Committee decision for night closures started from the evening of Thursday, March 4th and will be in force until Saturday morning, which is March 20th. Now, business owners in the Sultanate caught breaching the nighttime closure rules that are currently in place will be slapped with a fine of 300 Omani riyals in addition to closing their stores. Repeat offenders, according to Muscat municipality, must fork out 1,000 Omani riyals as well as lose their operating license. To stop the spread of the coronavirus in the Sultanate, the Supreme Committee has ordered the closure of all commercial activities in the country from 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. The decision came into effect on Thursday, March 4th and will last until Saturday, March 20th. Petrol stations, hospitals and clinics and pharmacies are excluded from these regulations. Now, an official from the municipality said that anyone found violating these provisions issued by the Supreme Committee will be fined 300 Omani riyals as well as the closure of the activity in which they are involved. If people are found repeating these violations, they will be fined 1,000 Omani riyals and will have their licenses revoked. Citizens and residents must report any violations seen by shopkeepers should they be found to not comply with the decisions of the Supreme Committee. The official also added that if they have spotted a violation and wish to report this, they are welcome to call the Supreme Committee as well as the call center for Muscat municipality, which can be reached by dialing 1111. Surveillance teams from municipal organizations will monitor the capital to make sure that all marketplaces and businesses that are to cease operations at 8 p.m. do so. Punishments to those who do not follow these regulations will be meted out in collaboration with the Royal Oman Police and Public Prosecution. The decisions taken by Supreme Committee also ban restaurants and cafes from serving food to customers after 8 p.m. This includes providing takeaway or delivery services once they have been shuttered for the day. People are, however, still free to move about while observing the precautions required to limit the spread of coronavirus, as there is no movement ban against vehicles and individuals. This was all from our local desk. It's time for us to take a quick commercial break, but stay tuned as we have more updates coming your way from our international desk.
Oman's largest online supermarket now has no minimum order limit. From grocery to household items, Rafiq has everything that you want. Enjoy worry-free shopping with over 8,000 products to choose from and get it delivered straight to your doorstep. Rafiq, you order, we deliver.
Welcome back to TTV. You're watching Midday Update. And now from our international desk. Ajman authorities on Saturday cancelled all permits for Ramadan tents in the UAE this year as a precautionary measure against the spread of coronavirus, reported Khalij Times. The announcement comes 3 days after the UAE cancelled all Ramadan tents that are usually hosted during the holy month. Instead, the iftar meals will be distributed to sites in a safe manner by charities registered in the Emirate. Mariam Ali Al-Mamari, who's the Secretary General of the Council, vowed that the maximum number of workers and people with limited income will benefit from its meal distribution plan in the safest possible manner. The cancellation aims to prevent large gatherings where people may flout social distancing rules. The Ajman Charitable Activities and Endowments Coordination Council directed charities to coordinate with it to determine meal distribution plans. They must get the council's approval to carry out the plan, reported Khalij Times. As per tradition, during the holy month, it is a norm for mosques and charity associations to host iftars for workers and offer them free meals. This Ramadan, the meals distribution will happen after the Asr prayer and will need to conclude 1 hour before the Maghrib prayer, reported Khalij Times. Scientists at the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, commonly known as FDA, are strongly against administering single dose of the Moderna and Pfizer vaccines, as their efficacy has only been proven if people get 2 shots, the Wall Street Journal reports. It is essential that these vaccines be used as authorized by FDA in order to prevent COVID-19 and related hospitalizations and death. Peter Marks, director of the FDA Center that oversees vaccines, told the Wall Street Journal on Saturday. In February, some scientists and lawmakers suggested using a 1-dose regimen for all coronavirus vaccines approved in the US after certain preliminary studies showed that a single shot could be enough for some people. You would be flying blind to just use 1 dose, a senior scientist and advisor to US President Joe Biden told the Wall Street Journal, adding, if you're going to do something else other than follow the studies shown to the FDA, show me that this one-shot effect is durable. At the end of February, the FDA announced that it had given emergency use authorization to Johnson & Johnson's single-shot vaccine. The coronavirus vaccine was the 3rd candidate to be given FDA approval, following authorization for 2-shot vaccines produced by Pfizer and Moderna. Biden said that after the approval of Johnson & Johnson's vaccine, that things were still likely to get worse in terms of COVID-19 in the US as new coronavirus variants emerge. Talking about the US President Joe Biden, he said that on Saturday actually hailed the passage of $1.9 trillion relief plan and said it was so desperately needed, urgently needed. Speaking at a press conference after the Senate passed the America Rescue Plan, Biden said, I promised the American people help was on the way. Today, I can say we have taken one more giant step forward in delivering on the promise. He further said it obviously wasn't easy, it wasn't always pretty, but it was so desperately needed and urgently needed. Senate on Saturday passed the $1.9 trillion COVID-19 relief plan after a 12-hour struggle to get Senator Joe's support in President Joe Biden's America Rescue Plan. The vote was 50-49 on a party line vote. This was the first legislative victory of the Democrats since gaining the majority at the Senate. According to CNN, the Democrats kept a Senate roll call vote open for 11 hours and 50 minutes, the longest in recent history, as Senator Joe signaled he would accept the Republicans' less generous proposal. The nearly $2 trillion package includes up to $1,400 stimulus checks to many Americans and billions of dollars for states and municipalities, schools, small businesses, and vaccine distribution, CNN reported. The legislation will now go back to the House for a final vote, and then Joe Biden will sign it into law. It's time for us to take a quick commercial break once again, but stay tuned as we have more updates coming your way from a sports desk.
Oman's largest online supermarket now has no minimum order limit. From grocery to household items, Rafiq has everything that you want. Enjoy worry-free shopping with over 8,000 products to choose from and get it delivered straight to your doorstep. Rafiq, you order, we deliver.
Welcome back to TTV. You're watching Midday Update. And now from a sports desk. Assigned by His Majesty Sultan Haitham bin Tariq, Sayyid Saud bin Hilal bin Hamad Al Busaidi, who's the Minister of State and Governor of Muscat, will preside over the final of His Majesty the Sultan's Football Cup 2020-2021 in the presence of His Highness Sayyid Yazan bin Haitham bin Tariq Al Said, Minister of Culture, Sports and Youth. The final match between the Far Club and Al Suwaik Club would be played at Sultan Qaboos Sports Complex in Bosher on Sunday. On the occasion, His Highness Sayyid Yazan bin Haitham bin Tariq Al Said reaffirmed that His Majesty the Sultan's Football Cup has contributed to the development of football in the Sultanate. Sayyid Yazan said that football is a popular sport followed by a big section of people, and there is tough competition among the various clubs in the Sultanate. He also congratulated the foreign Al Suwaik clubs for qualifying for the final match, along with all the clubs which participated in the competition, Oman Football Association, the media, and those involved with organizing the competition. His Highness Sayyid Yazan extended his sincerity and gratitude to His Majesty Sultan Haitham bin Tariq for His Majesty's care and attention accorded to sports in the Sultanate. Taib Akram, who's the CEO and Secretary General of the Asian Hockey Federation, commonly known as AHF, reaffirmed that the future of hockey in the Sultanate was remarkably promising, as the Sultanate is a leading state in the Gulf Cooperation Council and other countries in hockey sport. He also pointed that the Sultanate is ranked 27th at the international level out of 137 member states of the Asian Hockey Federation. He said to Oman News Agency that the Sultanate is capable of securing more advanced place as it maintains appropriate basic structure and is heading on the right track. What distinguishes hockey in Oman is the relation between the clubs and Oman Hockey Association, and that the clubs receives direct support from the government. He added that the Asian Hockey Federation is currently working with Oman Hockey Association on a training syllabus on hockey sports for schools, and it is ready to support Oman Hockey Association in the issue of hockey coaches. With this news, we have come to the end of the episode for today, but stay tuned as we'll be back again tomorrow with Fighting COVID episode your way.
You've just heard the live feed from the TTV studios on TFM 95.4. Let's talk.